It's an old-fashioned notion. But the world can still use them.
Ready.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
We destroyed Thanos. But it's not over.
My work is inevitable. There will always be more to finish it.
This is just the beginning. She tore a hole in space. There's a different reality leading into ours.
What are you prepared to do?
I'm invincible.
Your powers only make me stronger.
So you can't be matched. Can't be controlled. I'm asking for one last fight.
You cannot protect your people.
You can stand tall without standing alone.
They're here.
The Marvels, rated PG-13.
Uh-oh.
Monica, you gotta fly.
No.
Black girl magic.
In theaters Friday. Get tickets now.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for The Marvels arriving November 10th in all theaters. It's everywhere. It's the MCU. You know they're going to put it everywhere. It's your boy, Kuya P. Nerds rule the world. And joining me is the brother that levels me up, my man, Glenn Lawrence. How are you, sir?
What's going on, bro? Good to see you.
Yeah, man.
It's good to have seen the Marvels.
Yeah, man. It was good to see you last night. As of this recording, y'all, we got the chance to check it out. Shout out to all of our PR peoples that let us get that advanced look. The Marvels is arriving in theaters as of this recording on Friday. We had the chance to check it out. Before we got the Marvels, before we put our eyes on this piece, Glenn, how are your feelings on the OG original Captain Marvel, and then kind of like where her story portrayed out through the rest of the films? Then we got WandaVision giving us Monica Rambeau a little bit more, that was a child in the first Captain Marvel. And then we got Miss Marvels, which introduced us to Kamala Khan. What were your thoughts coming into this with all of that? Were you excited?
I was excited when I saw the trailer. I was excited. Now, the first Captain Marvel, it was okay. It just probably was one of my least favorite MCU films, and I don't know why. There was just like a weird. I think there was like a weird pacing to it or whatever. So I was a little bit apprehensive, but when they announced what the next Marvel film was going to be, and they said it was going to be the Marvels, it was going to add in all these other pieces to it, all these other characters to it that we've seen in other properties have their kind of introduction. I was very excited about it. Then the trailer dropped, even more excited about it. They had the great, music to it. Plus you get to see some of the action scenes, which, we'll get into later in the movie, but those were phenomenal too. So from the trailer, I was hyped for it, and I don't think it disappointed.
All right. Yeah. Like you, I enjoyed when they first came out. I enjoyed the first Captain Marvel. My daughter, Madison, and Ebony, they're like, what? It really spoke to them. Brie Larson and just everything that film kind of, the story played out, and I quite enjoyed it as well. I know it's different for a lot of people, and like you, it was your least fave. But yeah, I thought Brie killed it. And then to see her then play out through the rest of the MCU films, and then when we got Monica Rambeau character that we saw as a child in WandaVision, and I think she was amazing. Shout out to Teyonah Parris in WandaVision. I think we got some great moments, and then I know you like the Young Avengers, and you didn't you read the Miss Marvel stuff? I don't know. I might be wrong.
I don't think I've read the Miss Marvel stuff, like some of the newer stuff. Right. No, but I saw the series.
Okay, you're aware of the character, in the comics and stuff. So
Exactly.
I was super excited to see that she was now going to be a part, of the MCU. So yeah, just an amazing trio of women. And so, yeah, like you, bro, trailer dropped in. I was like, what? Some amazing sequences, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, so across the board, I was like, I'm ready. And yeah, so let's get into it, man. We saw the film. Y'all just saw the trailer. We have this amazing threesome, the most powerful women in the MCU joining as the Marvels superhero team. And wow. There's a thing that happens. We're gonna do our best not to spoil, but there's this cataclysmic universal event that is making them switch into each other's bodies, or not switching into their bodies, but switching into where the other is located. It's a weird shift, and it harkens back to something that happened in the first film with our Carol Danvers, because as you saw at the end of the first film, she went off into space. She did return to go fight some stuff with, the Avengers and all the other things, but she was dealing with what had happened in the first film, and you see what had happened, and that kind of put the thing to make this event happen, this film happen. It kind of was like the ball being pushed, and so that is what happens this event. We get a lot more flirking. For all you Flirkin fans, you're going to get a lot of Flirkin. And yeah, so that's what happens without any spoilers. Did I do a good job there, Glenn? I'm sorry, did I miss anything?
No, yeah, I think that's the basis. I mean, what I'll jump into is just how fast the film starts, man. It like jumps like right into it, and from the word go, it's just going. And from the trailer, you saw some of the action sequences, which I thought was great. And it's just great that this movie immediately started with some of that. I saw somebody say there's like no fluff, no filler to what Nia DaCosta directed here. And they get like right into it. And I really,
shout out to her.
Yeah. I really like that. They got right into it. Now, I will say that people, like, if you haven't seen some of the other properties, you probably would be a little bit confused.
That was going to be my question to you.
Yeah, what's going on? Do you think
they set it up enough, or do you think it is somewhat confusing?
I think if I had, so I was very excited because I have seen everything else, and all of those shows ended on cliffhangers, which made me very excited to see the Marvels, which is coming next. If you haven't seen those things, you're kind of just thrown into there, and then things are just happening. Things happening. So you might be a little bit confused from that. But I do think it has enough heart where you can kind of start, understanding things as it goes. Iman Vellani she's fun, and her family is great in the film. So if you saw Miss Marvel, it kind of leaves off with that, and it still gives you the warm fuzzies. And there was a moment there where there's like a tear shed. I like it because it leads in from where we left off with some of the other projects. Of course, we get to see Captain Marvel fly off, leaving little Monica Rambeau, waiting for her to come back, so excited. And then, of course, that doesn't happen because she's off world. And that leaves like a sense of emptiness for Monica, and I think they definitely play that up. Like, so the emotionality was there. And so it was very cool to see Monica, who has this feeling of someone who like kind of abandoned her, and then have Miss Marvel, little Miss Marvel, looking up to Captain Marvel. And then you have like kind of that juxtaposition of like, oh my goodness, this is my hero. And it's like, yeah, my hero kind of like abandoned me. And then you get to see them kind of come together and be a family. So I thought that they wove all those things together. You get that if you haven't seen the other properties, but I definitely like how it just jumped right in. However, if you haven't seen some of the things, you may have been a little bit lost in what was going on.
I hear that. I hear that. I think they tried to do as much as they could, but at the same time, it could be a little bit wonky. But I think it'll drive people to go see if they didn't catch WandaVision or if they didn't catch the Marvel show. I actually think I heard somebody, another friend, reviewer, saying the same thing, that, I think I'm going to go check it out. I think it might have been you, Glenn Ornstein, or it might have been Marianne. Shout out to our pal Marianne, who didn't finish Marvels.
I kind of like brushed up before I saw.
Okay,
it, so I don't think it was
Marianne. It was Marianne.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it was me. But
all the subplots that they interweaved, like you said, with her flying away, that it all made sense. You know what I'm saying? Of why Monica felt somewhat distant with Captain Marvel and not wanting to interact with her because now she's older and with what happened to her mother, the blip. I think of a lot of since the post, what was it? Post blip films, you know what I'm saying? Where everything is coming like, restarting again with the next phase. I think this really did a great job of kind of giving that before and after, and a lot of those subplots that were just kind of lingering, and also developing it without any spoilers into where we're heading next. So with that being said, because we get the three of them finally together in this, what did you think of all three of these? I think Brie, Teyonah, and Iman are amazing and great as kind of a trio that they, kind of by de facto of what happened, they got pulled together. And then with Samuel L. Jackson and just some other characters that make an appearance, but we won't spoil on that. But what do you think of how, like, let's talk about the characters and then where they're heading to now that we got from this? Did you enjoy all of them together? Yeah,
I thought that the trio, listen, threesome was great. It was amazing. It was good times. It's very cool to see that youthful exuberance in Little Miss Marvel. I keep saying Little Miss Marvel to separate from Captain Marvel. It's good to see that youthful exuberance, and it's good to see kind of the adult Monica Rambeau, like she's grown up, so it's good to see her, being like an adult who's been through, some things and has a little bit of hurt and trauma. And then Captain Marvel, it was interesting seeing her come back. Now I know there was the whole thing with like Brie Larson, and there's been like some turmoil between, I guess, like the fan base and her. And for one, I felt like I could feel it a little bit in like the performance. But I will say this: I don't know how they shot it, but it felt like she warmed up throughout. Like she kind of warmed up to what she was doing in the character a little bit more throughout the film. I think at first it could feel like, I'm not having fun doing this, but I felt like when she was getting with Monica Rambeau, she's getting with Little Miss Marvel, it just felt like she was like having fun with it again, so that was just my perception. Maybe I was looking into it too much, because Brie Larson's an amazing actress, so she might have been playing it that way. But
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like slightly confused. I know there's some ridiculous fanboys about her and the character, but I don't know specifically what you're saying in regards to her having a diversion from the character. I think she's playing the character how they wanted her to play the character, and it's a different type of woman, which I think certain fanboys and certain cats don't understand, that there are different type of women in the world, and this is just who she is and who this character is. But yeah, I don't want to speak to that, whatever that is from out some other fans.
Well, what I was saying was, it seemed like throughout the film she warmed up to her team, so like early. But I think that also plays into how the movie was set up, because at first she's on the spaceship, she's kind of by herself, she's a little bit distant, but then as
so that's all character element.
I know, that's what I'm trying to say.
Got you. That's what I thought you were separating because of like the outside of what's been discussed,
right? So
with fanboys and stuff. So my apologies for the confusion.
Yeah. What I was saying was, early in the film, there is that kind of distanceness and a little bit of coldness and whatnot. And what I was saying was, I think it may be how the character is being played, but part of me also felt like, is this kind of early on, like she's not feeling it, you know what I mean, as much, because she was very excited to do it, and then of course with all the fanboy stuff or whatever, it got a little kind of probably wore on her a little bit here and all this other stuff. But it felt like it worked it like in parallel, like she was a little cold distant, and then as she's playing with the other characters, Miss Marvel, Monica Rambeau and whatnot, it seemed to like like bring it together, and it looked like she was having fun again. Like early on didn't look like that, later on did look like that. And what I was saying was, I don't know if it was the outside stuff that made like the earlier scenes feel like it wasn't was a little bit more colder, and then she warmed up as she was playing it. So it was kind of like a parallel, like the character was doing one thing, but then also in life also maybe doing the same
I don't
thing.
think the outside stuff played into it. I think that was just all character.
Well,
especially when people see the film and they understand the events of what her character was going through.
Right.
And trying to cover up that stuff,
Yeah.
But
so I just thought it was I thought it was an interesting parallel in terms of like what real life was going on, and then through the film, it was just almost like life imitating art in terms of like the feeling throughout it. So I thought that was cool, because that was something that I think was weighing down what people's expectations for the film. So I think when they come into this film, they're going to actually see that. And I thought it was a great turn and great kind of character development, which is basically like it worked. I liked how it flowed like that. It felt like it was almost warming from the Captain Marvel before. Of course, we have different opinions on the first Captain Marvel. It felt like it was warming from that to what this is going to be, and it's like the tone felt like I liked it more. I liked the tone between the three characters, and it was just kind of like a transition from one to the other, in my opinion. Okay,
so without spoiling, we're going to get some evolution even more from where we're going to head now post the Marvels. What are some of your thoughts on the developments? Were you surprised by some of the new character introductions and where the story may be heading? Do you have any predictions?
I thought it was very, very cool. The new character additions, get to see some of the things that we've wanted to see for a very long time. I thought it was also cool that we have interaction between characters that we didn't really think about, like I guess are we going into talking a little bit more about things now? Because about
yeah.
So like King Valkyrie being the one of the big
spoilers.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I just said. I just asked.
Well, I was trying not, but it's all okay. Valkyrie, there she made an appearance. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like King Valkyrie coming in and then having their like connection or whatever, and just that small moment of like, hey, I know what it's like to not be want to be part of a team, and then to reluctantly have yourself go into it and just go with it. I thought that was a very cool moment. I will say this, and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I think Marvel does a great job of like retconning some of their former films to make them better than when you initially saw them, or some of the properties before. It did some things, like for instance with the former Captain Marvel film, the fact that she thinks she has to go, basically destroy the super intelligence and whatnot. And by doing so causes a huge, kerfuffle in the universe, or like a huge civil war or whatever. But she thought she was doing something right. And in the first film, it was just kind of like, and then you see like, oh, that has like a major effect on it. And the same thing with, leaving little Monica Rambeau and then not coming back. And then all of a sudden it has a major effect on this character's arc. It's just interesting. All these characters that are, they're like no throwaway characters kind of in the Marvel universe. It's like, the bread boy or the milkman that you slighted and didn't tip is now back as like a major villain. It's just like all these things kind of come back around. It's like, but it was very, very cool to see how those things intertwine. So in talking about introduction to new characters, it is nice to see some characters that we have not seen before that everybody has been wanted to filter in there, and then have an idea of like, ooh, how is that going to affect the further movies. But I like the fact also that they're not wasting actors. There's some good actresses that we thought we weren't going to be able to see again, and through some of these character reveals, we're like, oh, we'll get to play with them again, and not in a cheesy way, in a way that actually moves the story forward and adds some emotionality to what the scenes are going to be. So I'm very excited for what is to come. I'm very excited for what comes next.
All right. Yes, the Marvels, y'all, again in theaters November 10th. It's fun. That was the first, word that came to my mind. And to our pal Marianne, shout out to Marianne who joined us as well. FUN. What is it? Further, faster, stronger. You were saying that in our quick thoughts. I can't remember. There's the slogan they're pushing with all of that. Yeah, man. I enjoy this one, and I can't wait for my wife and daughter to see this one. Again, they enjoyed the first one, and these characters in the Marvels as well as WandaVision. I think fans are going to be pleasantly surprised, and then how this twists and turns with where they're going to go next and how they've induced. I think of all the post blip stuff, I think this really one pushes it a little bit more. Would you say kick the ball a little bit more to where we're heading? Because I think some places got stagnant and like a lot of people, and myself included, Secret Invasion was just it was just and it didn't really push the ball. There's a lot of projects recently that didn't push the ball. I'm okay with a slow build. I like a slow build until we get things really rolling, and then we really have some excitement. But I think this one really put some juice out there, if you will. What about you? Yeah.
Well, we didn't do the review for Secret Invasion, but what it definitely had a slow build. I definitely think it built and put more things into the universe, but then the finale of it was just like what was that? So I think in terms of the series, it's like 5 or however many episodes up until that last episode where you're just like, that totally breaks out. That's weird. Why did that all happen? But I like, in terms of what this film leads to and what happened in Secret Invasion, I think it is a great dovetailing, and it does like propel things forward for the things that we might be getting in the future. I think this puts us into a great space, and I'm looking forward to more MCU projects and how things are going to intertwine, and the story that is being told, and the continuation of everything that's happened, and how people try to fix things, put things right, but then it actually, causes things to go a little haywire. I'm right in the middle of watching Loki, so everything with the multiverse there is getting wacky, and then you have this, and I think I put this in my notes. I was like, these MFers just keep breaking the multiverse in every direction. Someone's breaking something in the multiverse or whatever.
Or the heroes creating their own problems.
Yeah,
if she didn't do what she did, it just wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but it's creating a lot of that. But I think when you go see this film, the slogan is higher, further, faster together. But like Kuya P was saying, I think it should be funner, further, faster, because it was definitely fun. It's definitely fast, and it does push the movie further forward. So I think you're gonna like it. I think with everything being said, I think it does push the MCU forward in terms of storytelling, and I think it's a pleasant surprise. I don't know if the box office is going to reflect it. I hope that it does, but I think it should. I think the box office should reflect that this is some great work by Nia DaCosta. Like, this is some great work by the people who put this together: Brie Larson, Teyonah Parris, Iman Vellani. I think they all did a great job. I loved seeing them come together, and I'm happy for it. Like the first Marvel, like you were saying, there's people who were, getting all over it or whatever, which made me sad because I really like Brie Larson as an actor and what she puts into films and how she does it. And I hope that people gravitate towards this, because I think with the ensemble cast that she has around her, it just makes it great. And I've said this before, when people are in these superhero movies, sometimes it takes a couple outings to get their footing of how they're going to play the character, and I think that's happening with Miss Marvel, and or Captain Marvel. We're starting to see that, like how she's going to play the character and how it's developing, and I really like that. I really think that is good. I think people should go see it. I think it should get a good box office. I don't know if it will, but I hope it does.
All right, same. I hope people check it out. I really had a lot of fun, and I know I'll be seeing it again with the fam, because it is marvelous and fun, as we said. All right, Glenn Lawrence, if people want to talk all about the film with you, and if they want to level up and get their laugh on with you, how can they reach out?
Check me out on levelupcomedy.com. Glenn Levels Up on X, or Twitter, as they say. Glenn Lawrence Comedy on Facebook and IG.
There you go. And for me, it's the Legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Hive, Blue Sky, and of course here with Glenn and the whole squad at the NRW and at Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. Those are our thoughts on the Marvels. Let us know yours in the comments below. We are out, y'all. Till next time.
Peace.
What's going on, world? It's your boy Kuya P and Glenn Lawrence doing our initial thoughts coming out of the press screening for the Marvels, y'all.
Let me get out the way.
There you go. All right, Glenn, what do you think? Initial thoughts coming out of the joint.
I thought it was dope. I thought it went higher, faster, further. I enjoyed it quite a bit. But all these movies, I always have to see them again to make sure that I saw what I think I saw. But I think I saw some really fun things. That's what I think I saw. I liked it.
All right. Well, for myself, I was shout out to the homie Marianne. She's here. You know, you've seen her. You know NRW. Let me show her real quick. You know, she came in, dip in. The good homie came back. Our thoughts are combined. Fun. F-U-N. I think that was really the underlying tone for this film. A lot of fun.
And fast.
Yes. But we're going to have our full thoughts. Stay tuned for the full review on the channel. Glenn Lawrence, your boy Kuya P. We'll have it up there. But go check out Marvel's dropping November 10th, y'all.